So yes, as the title says, the last 2 out of 3 vehicles that I have bought recently within the past, 3 or 4 months, have been massive fails. Now, the one success story I would say is the 95 Buick Roadmaster wagon, which I currently have for sale. Of course, I'm keeping the 2 vehicles that are the massive fails. But the Roadmaster wagon is currently on Bring a Trailer. By the time this video hits, it'll be done. I plan on doing a video just kind of talking about my experience on Bring a Trailer and how that went, and my overall viewpoint on it, if you guys are interested in that. Big truck going by. But I will be doing a video on that in the future. But today's video, I'm going to talk about my 2 massive failures. And the first one is this one right here. This is a 1974 Plymouth Barracuda, and I actually bought this one on Bring a Trailer. It's my own fault, really. There were plenty of pictures, there was videos and everything like that, and I did notice like some of the gap issues and panel fitment and things like that. But you know, I'm trying to be optimistic and thinking, okay, well, maybe the passenger door isn't closed all the way, or the hood isn't down all the way. No, it needs basically adjustment on both doors, the hood, the trunk, to get it right. It needs some paint work. It's gonna need different wheels and tires. These are kind of old and faded and water spotted, and I just don't think that they're going to come back. Besides, even if they did come back, I really wouldn't want to replace them because the valve stems on the inside is going to be really hard to put air in them. The interior is just okay. Most of it's pretty salvageable, but the seats are going to need to be redone. The armrests are going to need to be redone. The column it's an automatic on the column, and the column is very loose, so I'll probably end up putting a tilt column in it and putting the automatic down on the floor. It's a fairly anemic 440. It is a 440, but it's a fairly anemic 440, as I would expect it to be, considering the fact that it's probably period correct around that early to mid 70s era when they didn't really have a lot of horsepower, not very high compression motors. So there's that going on, and it also has a leak from the fuel tank somewhere. And it doesn't matter if it's full, if it's half full, or what have you. It's done it a couple of times where it just decides to leak out a little bit and then stop. So there's that going on. This thing's also going to need new belts and hoses, probably a full tune-up. But the one thing positive that I can say about this car is it does start every time. I mean, and it starts up, idles right down, runs good as far as that goes. But there's just so much going on with this car. It's also got a noise in the rear end that I hear at low speeds. I don't know if it's actually the rear end or not, but we're going to need to deal with that. And oh, I almost forgot, the transmission appears to be slipping just a little bit. I'm hopeful it's just some adjustments that need to be done and not a whole new transmission. But yeah, you know, I'm just guesstimating that probably $6,000, $8,000, maybe $10,000 to get this car really where I want it to be. And the last thing, and I even forgot about this, the last thing I do remember talking to the seller about this after I'd already, you know, committed to the car. He said, yeah, this thing's got a dynamite stereo, best stereo I've ever heard. This is the worst stereo I've ever heard. I am confident that every speaker in this car is blown. I am, so I'm going to have to replace that too. So, yeah, I know I'm whining, but, you know, my channel, my video, I can whine. So, let's go over to the workshop and I'll show you the even bigger failure if this hadn't been a big enough failure already. Now, standing here next to the even bigger failure than the Barracuda is this 1955 Chevy that I bought. It is a 2-door post, and I actually went to look at this vehicle. I rode in this vehicle, I listened to this vehicle, I was hands-on with this vehicle, so I have no one to blame but myself again. And I felt like, okay, you know, the vehicle needed a little bit of modernization. It needed different front wheels, which I put on here. It could use some updates to the interior and things like that, but it was here. This is a 468 big block, 700R transmission, 456 gears. This got heat and air. It's got power windows. Door handles have been shaved. It's a nice build, and it was even in a magazine some time back. And I thought, okay, not going to be too much to do to this car, and I can drive it and enjoy it and get back into a Tri-5 because I really like Tri-5s. So get it home. The guy actually delivered it to me, which I do appreciate that. And I remember him telling me this car does not leak a drop of oil, not a drop. Well, after about 6 or 8 hours in my shop, I come out and there's, yeah, not a drop, there's a big puddle underneath. So I did ask him about that, and he said, oh, it never leaked any oil when I had it. Well, after Eddie got underneath it and looked, yeah, it leaked a lot of oil because it was very obvious there was a lot of oil and stuff caked underneath the bottom of the vehicle, so I don't know how you could miss the big puddle, but that's okay, that's okay. Eddie said, you know, while we're doing that and fixing the oil leak, let's go ahead and jump in here and we're going to put new plug wires and new belts and hoses and that type of thing, and just, you know, kind of freshen it up, do some maintenance that had been deferred for a little while. And I said, that sounds like a great idea. And then that turned into the transmission going. Lost third and fourth gear, so it went to Al's transmission. Spent the money, built a really good, strong manual valve body 700R transmission for this thing. While he was doing that, the master cylinder went on me. So ordered a new one of those, got it back. Eddie put the master cylinder in, fixed the oil leak, did the tune-up, did everything that needed to be done, and we were going to actually take it back over to my other shop, and lo and behold, the motor starts knocking and making a noise. And Eddie so far has not been able to find it. It's definitely over here on the passenger side, but he's taken the valve covers off. He's looked at the top end. He's going to get a few more people in on it just to kind of check it out and see what they think. But it's not good, and it's fairly obvious. I mean, even this thing on open headers, you could still hear the knock, which is not good. So yeah, this one's definitely been a really big fail. I know I'm into this car deeper than I could get out of it, and assuming that I don't have to put a motor in it, assuming we can just rebuild this one or freshen up or fix what's wrong with it, assuming we can find what's wrong with it, I'm really committed to this car. And I feel the same with the Barracuda. Plus, I do like them. Regardless of how much I spent and how deep I'm into these vehicles and how big of a failure they have been for me, I do like this body style. I do like this car. When it's sitting down, it's on airbags in the front. It's got a really nice stance. It's got a really nice rumble. It is a nice driving car. What little I've driven it, I've only driven it like 2 or 3 miles in the 3 or 4 months I've owned it, and it's spent one night over at the other shop. The rest of the time it's been here at Al's, but I do like it. And I think that once I can get through all this stuff and get all this stuff ironed out, hopefully there won't be too many more surprises after this. I think it's going to be a really good car, and I'm excited to own it. Same thing with the Barracuda. It's just going to take some time to get there. Financially speaking, I don't have thousands and thousands of dollars to throw into these vehicles to get them where I want them to be right now. As you guys may know, if you've watched any of the videos lately, my wife and I bought property out of state. That's the focus. That's what's going on right now. So until we can get that renovated where we need it to be, get it rented out, get some positive cash flow back in this direction on that, I'm staying very stationary. As a matter of fact, I'm still selling vehicles. I've sold numerous vehicles already. I sold my Z06 Corvette. The Gremlin recently sold and went to Idaho. My Cyclone is sold, and it is going to be picked up actually tomorrow. So the day after this on a Sunday, and it's going to be going to Nebraska. The Roadmaster wagon, which is over here on this side, it's only here because it just needed out of the way at the time. Nothing wrong with it, but it is on Bring a Trailer, and it's going to be ending tomorrow, so I'm hoping to do reasonably well, at least get my money back on that. And I also have my 2021 Mustang GT with a Roush supercharger. I have that on eBay right now, and you know, I'm hoping to recoup some of the money. I'm going to lose money. I'm definitely going to lose money, even at the reserve right now. I'm still losing about $12,000 to $15,000 on that car. Not real excited about that. It is a fun car, but things need to go just because I want to be a little bit more liquid, not because I'm anticipating anything bad or I'm really needing or hurting for the money right now, but I just want to be a little bit more liquid, and I want to be very prepared. And then once everything's done with the property, then I can get back into the renovations on this and the Barracuda and a few other things, and kind of get back into the motor thing, and maybe even buy a car here or there once in a while. So yeah, that's where I'm at. Yeah, I know I'm coming off sounding like a real whiner here, and what have I got to whine about? I mean, you know, someone asked me the other day, is it hard to give up your vehicles? Because I've given up a lot of vehicles. I sold like 4 or 5 in the past few months, and plan on selling a few more. And yeah, it is. It's tough when you go from like having like say 22 cars down to like 12 or 13 or whatever I'm going to end up with. See where I land. It is kind of difficult, but I know it's for the greater good. I know it's for the future of me, my wife, my son, my family, and I think it's a very, very positive thing. I think it's worth it, definitely worth it. And I know that I'm blessed. I know that I'm very blessed, because most people would be happy to have one of these vehicles sitting in their garage, and you know, here it is, I'm still gonna have like at least 10 or 12. So I know I'm very blessed, I'm very happy about that. And all this stuff, I'll get through it, I'll make it happen. and eventually you'll see this vehicle, eventually you'll see the Barracuda, you'll see videos on those, you'll see POV videos on those, and I'll talk about them more, and we'll actually be able to get out and have some fun with these vehicles. It's just going to take a little while, so I ask that you bear with me and be patient. So with that, I will end the video. I will stop talking now, and thank you very much for watching. As always, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. My P.O. Box and Instagram will be in the description below. Guys, God bless. Take care. Have an absolutely amazing day.